Welcome to the first History Scotland podcast. I'm Matthew Hill, Managing Editor of History Scotland magazine, and I'm here with Rachel Bellaby, the magazine's Deputy Editor. In this first episode, Neil McLennan gives us a history tour of Stonehaven in Aberdeenshire. Neil is a senior lecturer at the University of Aberdeen and a member of the History Scotland editorial board. Neil will be guiding us around Scotland throughout the year via this podcast as we celebrate 2017, the year of history, heritage and archaeology. Before we join Neil for his guide to Stonehaven, we wanted to give you details about the January-February issue of History Scotland magazine, which is on sale from the 10th of December in newsagents and available direct from our website at historyscotland.com. So Rachel, what can readers expect from the issue?
Well, as always, the January-February issue is packed full of intriguing stories of the country's past, the latest archaeology news, plus heritage and community projects taking place around Scotland. Our cover feature is called Zeppelins over Edinburgh, and using original documents and eyewitness accounts, we tell the story of a Zeppelin attack on the city of Edinburgh in 1916. This was the first time the city had been targeted in this way, and as we demonstrate, the authorities were ill-equipped to deal with this aerial onslaught. Also in this issue, we tell the story of Aberdeen's witch panic of the late 16th century and the role of the city's Kirk of St Nicholas in holding those who'd been accused of witchcraft. So widespread was this mania for catching witches that the Kirk actually ran out of prison space in its cellar, meaning that the unfortunate accused prisoners were forced to lodge in the church depot throughout the cold winter. Finally, we present the findings of a community archaeology project to investigate the lost remnants of a site in Cromarty, where evidence was uncovered of a catastrophic burning in medieval times, along with finds including quern stones, tools offering evidence of a textile industry, and an internationally important find, a tuning peg, only the second such artefact ever to be uncovered in Scotland.
So that's all to look forward to in the January-February issue of History Scotland. It's available in print or digital editions, and you can find out about the issue and the magazine at historyscotland.com. So without further ado, let's join Neil on his trip around Stonehaven, which he rightly describes as a treasure trove of history.
Stonehaven is a quiet coastal town surrounded by glorious farmlands. However, hidden beneath it is a treasure trove of history for the intrepid history traveller. Now, I have not travelled very far for this first podcast, but what better place to look under every stone to reveal hidden histories and to find out more about the past of Scotland than to do so in your hometown. I am going to be travelling all over Scotland in the next 12 months in the year of history, heritage and archaeology to unearth hidden gems, hidden history gems, which I hope others will join me in visiting over the course of this year. The fact that this first location is just on my doorstep is of course very handy for me. However, the town is easy to access with a railway station at the top of the town and of course not being far off the A90 road going north. Many others of course will use the coastal road to come into Stonehaven, and for many they will pass by the coastal road and not notice the sharp turn down towards our first location for this podcast. Not far from the road and a short but testing walk from the town centre is our first stop, perhaps Scotland's most beautiful castle, Dunotter Castle, sitting just outside of Stonehaven. It is probably one of the most photographed castles in the country, and when you get to it you will see why. In the summer, tourists flock to see it, and many photographs are taken of it. Its ruins sit splendidly aloft a green crag with the blue North Sea as a backdrop. It truly is spectacular. Let's go and find out. Let's go and see. Whilst I have chosen to walk, a bus can easily be taken or the newly installed tourist train, which gives visitors easy access up the hill to this castle. The chapel of the castle itself was said to be founded by St Ninian in the 5th century, but what you see in front of you is a ruined medieval fortress. The castle itself has seen many an attack on it. King Donald II, the first king of Alba, was killed here by Vikings during an attack around 900. Historians still debate as to whether it was a small-scale raid or something much larger. Later, William Wallace was said to have been here. Whilst many of the visiting tourists coming here know of English cruelty to William Wallace and his men via Braveheart, what they perhaps don't know is that Wallace himself imprisoned 4,000 defeated English soldiers here when he captured the castle. Moreover, from the church building prison they were kept in, he burned them alive. However, perhaps the most told and the most associated story with the castle is the key role it held during the Jacobite risings. Its strategic location was, of course, one that offered great defensive capabilities, and that's clear for all to see. However, it was also somewhere to hide secrets, and it was here that the crown jewels, the honours of Scotland, were hidden from Oliver Cromwell's invading armies. Recent historical finds shed even more light on this wonderful area in the north-east of Scotland. Only a few miles from here, recently a Pectus Fort was found down the coast and in a similar rocky headland. And again we can see why it was there in that great strategic location. So, Stonehaven, not only a wonderful strategic location, but a great place to come and find out more about history and a great place to find out more about the past. A very recent find at Dunnottar was a visitor book dating back to the 1800s. It was found by staff at the castle, and it clearly shows in the 1800s visitors flocking in to see the castle from New Zealand, the United States, South America, Australia, Canada, Europe and even India. The message, of course, from me is certainly to come and visit here. Walking back along from the castle, we're now going to make our way along the coastal path towards the wonderfully placed and hard to miss war memorial to the Great War that sits above Stonehaven, sitting right on the top of Black Hill. Sitting on the land donated by Lady Cowdray, we can clearly see the names of the major battles of that great war, the war to end all wars: Jutland, the Somme, Gallipoli, the Marne, Mons and Zeebrugge. And inside the magnificent structure are lists of the dead, drawn from local farms within this area and sadly added to after the 1939 to 1945 conflict. The view at the top here is a commanding one, just like the castle itself. One can see right across the Mearns farmland, right across the wonderful countryside that sits around about this coastal town, and one can see right along the coastway, all the way along to the small fishing town of Cowie. But if we start to make our way down now from this hill, we make our way down the Bervie Braes, and on passing down the Bervie Braes into Stonehaven town itself, we get a magnificent view of the harbour and the historic buildings that sit around the edge of that harbour. The harbour itself was built prior to 1607 and was destroyed by storms. It's gone through many iterations since then. However, sitting right amidst this beautiful, beautiful scenery is a building that has a magnificent history of itself, and one which hides many of the local history gems, but is there for visitors to see. It's one we're going to visit later on. We're going to visit that toll booth museum, the toll booth building, famous from the past. But before that, we're going to get ready for an annual celebration that takes place here, and one which many tourists come to see: the fireballs. The fireballs head out from the town clock up and down the high street as many times as the carrier can take them before they return to the harbour and throw these massive items into the dark harbour. It's heavy work for the swingers of the fireballs. We'll find out later the various weights that these items are. Many believe the festival to be connected to some of the fire festivals of Neolithic man. The truth is the festival has been going since 1908, with brief pauses for both the First and Second World Wars. The festival has never been cancelled, and thousands pack in here to Stonehaven High Street to watch the spectacle in front of us just now. There are dozens and dozens of fireballs being swung up and down the street, casting out the old year and bringing in the new, led, as we can hear, by the pipe bands. And there we go. Happy New Year coming up now. There we go, and a Happy New Year. Happy New Year to one and all from everyone here in Stonehaven and in Stonehaven High Street, watching these fireballs now being swung up and down the streets.
Thanks to Neil for this great guide to Stonehaven. Don't miss our next podcast when Neil will be exploring the toll booth in Stonehaven. As mentioned, 2017 has been designated as the Year of History, Heritage and Archaeology, and the History Scotland podcast will reflect this celebration over the next 12 months. We're also really proud to be working alongside Visit Scotland on a special guide to the year, which will be given away free with History Scotland and our sister title Family Tree magazine. To find out more about the guide, just visit our website at scot.sh/2017 guide. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to welcoming you back for our trip to Stonehaven Toll Booth in the next History Scotland podcast.